Sales for the last week of January and the first few days of February for me were not great. But I have some really interesting things that are selling this time of year that you might be surprised by. So stick with me and I'll show you what is selling for me on eBay. And if you are new here, I am Angie Resells. I've been selling on eBay for over 25 years and this is my full-time business. So glad you can be here. Now let's see how I did this week. It's beautiful here in Florida. I know for a lot of you the weather is really lousy, but today it was 70 degrees. So even though I had lots to do, I still made sure I went and took Bubby, my little Oliver, on a walk today. It was really beautiful. The worst part of my day was that my internet's been out for a couple days. Oh my gosh, it was so intermittent, and like starting yesterday it was just completely out. Hopefully we have it fixed now. Crossing my fingers. It's been going for weeks and I'm just getting a little bit annoyed by it. So let's get right into my sales. Last week they were only $1,645. Yikers. Not great, but listen, it's that time of year. This happens every year for me towards the end of January. In February, people are going to start getting their tax returns. They start getting the spring fever where they're tired of the winter blahs and they really want to start buying some things that make them happy, and the sun starts coming out and daylight savings time will be coming soon and people just are in a better mood and want to buy, and you know, and plus right now, let's face it, it's hard to even pay for groceries, let alone extra stuff. So I keep plugging away. Okay, so let's see some of the items that are selling for me this week. Swimsuits, y'all. You would not think the swimsuits would be selling right now because it's cold in most of the country. But I sold 3 swimsuits this week. I sold this cute little Aerie swimsuit. It was a size extra small. This one was a Bare Assets bikini for $11.97. And this one was a new with tag Shade and Shore, and I sold this one for $21.95. Now some of my swimsuits are priced really low because I'm just clearing them out. I've had them maybe for a year or two, and at one point I bought a big lot of like 250 swimsuits for like $2 a piece, including that Shade and Shore one. So some of them are getting clearanced out, and that's okay with me because I'm still making quite a bit of profit on them and I'm happy to see them go. Another thing that is selling for me still here in the beginning of February are Christmas items. This one was a 2015 White House ornament. It was actually kind of cool. It comes in the original box. It has a little certificate of authenticity. They make one every single year. It's like the official ornament. This one sold on best offer for $18 plus shipping. I did sell this. I called him a creepy doll. I'm sorry, y'all. He's a little creepy. I also said red gingham, clown suit, homemade, vintage, hand-painted doll, and he sold for $13.45. I picked him up for $0.25, so I'm happy with that amount. I did sell one Build-A-Bear. He was a cutie with little patchwork on him. He did sell for $13.45. And remember, all of my items are plus shipping. I do charge shipping on top of all of my items, unless I tell you otherwise. I actually picked up 2 Piggly Wiggly hats. These came in a lot of hats I got from another reseller on a YouTube auction, so I paid about 50 cents a piece. And actually in the last week, I sold both of them that I had, and this one sold for $15.25. Who knew? Piggly Wiggly is like desirable. These are some Vera Bradley slides. Very cute. They had a little bit of wear. They were size 7-8. If they were 8-9s, I would have kept them, but they weren't. But they did sell for $15.25. This was a super cute umbrella. It actually has this really cool cartoon print, The Castaways. I had never heard of that cartoon, but I did take a best offer of $18 on this. It's been in my inventory for a while. I picked it up last year at a yard sale along with another one. The other one, it was like Cavemen or something, and it sold for like $35, but this one must be like a less popular comic. It did take a little bit longer to sell. This is an 86 stuffed animal. He actually is called a Popples, and I kind of didn't understand why, but when I found him, he was actually turned like this as a basketball. But you flip him around and he pops, I guess, out of the ball and he becomes this cute little guy. He did sell for $17.05. Then Torrid. You can never go wrong with Torrid if you can get it for a great price. Even the small sizes. This is a size 0, which would be a 12. I know they have a 00, which might be a 10, but this sold for $18.85. It was new with tags. It would have been my daughter's. Obviously, she never wore it. The next two items are items that I got from the Ross 49-cent sale. It's kind of a misconception when you hear that because it makes you assume that everything was 49 cents, but unfortunately most of it wasn't. But it was still amazing prices. I think the most I paid for anything was $2.49. I got a lot of great inventory there for average of like $1.50 a piece. So these ones are pretty nice and they already sold. This is a sweater that feels like chenille. I think the name is Efficy. Don't know that brand, but it did sell for $19.76. And I also sold this one, which is an Andrew Mark. It retails for $69 and I did sell it for $15.57. I believe I paid 99 cents for this particular sweater. I did sell this Philosophy dress. It was not new at tags. It was pre-owned, but it sold in about a week for $17.97. Oh, y'all, this was a super cute little shirt. It's M&M's, right? It's so cute. It's a men's M&M just button-up shirt. It was a size large. I did sell it for $19.76. I'm sure I only paid about $1 for it. Oh, Tommy Bahama perfume spray. I did have this for a couple months, I think. I did pick this up at a yard sale for about $2 and it sold for $17.95. Oh, this is a really cute Playmobil. It is like a rescue set for a boat and with a helicopter. Even though the item was new, unused, I still listed it as used because I wanted people to realize that if you look at the title here, I said it was unboxed. So I took it out of the box and just shipped the items just because the shipping would be way too much for this big box for these small items. I saved someone money not having to charge them like $13 or $14 for shipping, was able to charge them a less amount, and it sold right away for $19.76. And I did pay $3 for this. These are coveralls I picked up at an Amazon return store. They were brand new. I guess I've had these up for about 2 months and they finally sold for $19.76. This thing is one of the vintage tools that I picked up last summer at an estate sale. At the end, they were literally selling everything for $1 and I got tons of tools for $1 a piece. This was one of them. I do say in all of these listings that these items were in a working garage and so they needed cleaned, regular garage dust and dirt on them. So I made sure that everyone knew that ahead of time before they purchased anything, and I did give better prices than everyone else. This did sell for $19.76. Then I sold this Harley Davidson shirt. I actually picked this up at the Goodwill bins. There were 2 of them there. I listed it at $34.64, which is pretty high, but it was a size 3X and it did sell for $25 on best offer. Oh, Casper is a really surprising brand for me. When I can find Casper like blazers and things, I actually have a really good rate of return on these. So if you see the little suits, the blazers, older women do really love to wear this brand and it usually sells pretty quickly. It's a bread and butter, but don't pass it up if you see it because this one sold in like a week for $22.45 and I paid 25 cents for it. Oh, this guy I picked up at the bins. My bins now does a $4 bag of plush. He was in there. Evidently he's supposed to have a Santa hat on, but he was missing it, but he was like, I thought he was a pickle. I thought he was a pickle. Mom said, Angie, it's a cactus. I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now. Okay, I get it. But he sings Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. And he sold on best offer for $22. Another Christmas item selling in February. Mom actually picked this up. It is a hat planter. It's vintage. It was from Stanford Art Pottery. It was about 9 inches or so. It was marked on the back and it sold for $22.45. after about a week. This is another thing she picked up. These are Among Us, the movie. They are just plates and napkins and tablecloth. So what we did is we lotted them up, one set of plates, one set of napkins, one tablecloth. We had 4 different lots. Well, this person bought 3 of the 4, so each one was a best offer of $11. So we sold them for $33 for 3 sets. Pretty good. I think she paid $2 for all of it. My daughter, when we were at the bin, said, "Mom, you want this?" And I was like, okay. It's super, super light. Didn't even weigh a pound, so I paid about $1.60 for it. It's a Dance Dance Revolution gamepad for a PlayStation, and it sold within 24 hours for $22.45. I did pick up this doll at the Goodwill bins too, so paid about $1.60 for it. It was actually out of the box. She was over here and the box was over here, but she was still attached inside. Stuck her back in the box and sold her for $29.66. Disney Pop Princess is something that was only out for a short time in the early 2000s. So if you find one of these, they sell really well. There's very, very few of them on eBay, so keep an eye out for that. I was super surprised one day when I went to the bins, and I don't go to the bins that often anymore, but someone had put down several Department 56 items, and I was like, it weighs nothing. Why would you put that down? This was one of the sets, and I just thought they were super cute. So I paid probably $1 maybe for this, and it sold for $22.45. Again, Department 56 is usually more of a Christmas Village kind of thing. Sold in February. I did pay up for this right here. I paid $14 for it. It's a smart lock system. I had thought it was going to be worth a little bit more than it was, but I sold it for $58 plus shipping, so that wasn't too bad. My go-to is always to try to make 10 times my money on something. That is not always the case, but usually if I'm going to pay up for something, I know that it's going to sell for, $60 or more, and so it's worth it to me to do that fast flip on an item to make pretty decent money. When I'm buying the low-end items, though, that I'm paying $1 or $2 for, I really want to try to make 10 times my money or right at 10 times my money, because that just is a good round number for me. Now, I don't mind if it's 6 times or 8 times, depending on if I take an offer, if it sits for a while, but that is my goal when I'm outsourcing. This was a Department 56 Possible Dreams. They're the cloth teak dolls. Now, I really like this. I was shocked. I found this on $3 day at an Amazon return store. The box was completely ruined. I just threw the box away. And I actually listed this, if you see it says read on there, he was selling for like $85, and I thought he didn't work. His stomach goes up and down like he's snoring, and he makes a snoring sound. But me, I put batteries in, I did the switch, couldn't find anywhere to turn him on, so I just sold him as non-working, as a statue only. Y'all, he has a button. I just didn't notice the button until I was packing him up from selling him. He has a button and he works perfectly fine. So I actually could have sold him for $80, but instead I sold him for $45. But you know what? I paid $3 for him, and I'm happy with that flip. It was great money for a $3 flip, and sold it within 1 day. Last year I went to Michael's when they had their $5 clearance boxes, and all of these were in 2 of the boxes that I bought. They are paintball paint guns. You can see they're called Gobblies, and I just didn't know what to do with them. They all were about $5, $6, $7 a piece. So I lotted them together and charged a little bit more for shipping and said, there you go, one money for all of it. And I got a best offer this week for $20, and it went to the UK. So I was thrilled with that, because everything that I got in those $5 clearance boxes, I've already made, profit on all of that stuff. So these are just bonus items, and I'm happy that somebody wanted them. But this is another example. It's still snowing a lot of the country, but these sold, which will absolutely be used in the spring. So get your spring and summer things listed, because they are starting to move. Then another item that I paid $14 for from the Amazon return store was this condenser microphone. It was brand new in an open box. I did sell it for $59.36. I did pick up this bike helmet for $3 and it sold for $24.26. It came with the original box, but I didn't show it because the box was pretty damaged, but I did ship it in that and then wrap the box just so that they would have the original box in case they wanted it. The highest sale I had this week was this computer monitor, 24-inch. Another item that I got from the Amazon return store on $14 day. It can be a really lucrative day for you to go if you are there and are willing to dig for some treasures. This sold for $85.46. However, this is my one item of the week that did have free shipping on it. Luckily, it didn't go too far, so it was about $14 for shipping. So that means I still made over $50 in profit. Not bad. And then I always like to have my lowest sale of the week because I always say every sale matters. So my lowest sale of the week was this Ipsy bag. It's from February 2021. Perfect time of year for that to sell because Valentine's Day is next week. So I imagine somebody's going to get something cute in this little bag with some other goodies. It sold for $5.36 plus shipping. It was a cute little item and a sale I was very happy to get. While my sales are not like super high overall, I'm okay with that. I'm happy with where we are going. I'm trying to do a lot of listings and I think it's going to just get busier and busier as we get into the spring. So if you're interested in finding out what it's like to be a six-figure reseller and what that actually means, check out my video I did last week on what I sold on eBay last year. We'll see you next time. Bye.